Seahawks won Super Bowl 60 over the Patriots in dominating fashion by a score of 29-13. While not the most entertaining Super Bowl we've seen, there are some interesting questions, JT, coming out of this Super Bowl as a result of what we saw. So the first question is, speaking directly about the game and what we saw, is it more likely the Patriots were this bad or are this bad, or are the Seahawks just this good?
All right, I'm going to answer this question, and I don't want it to seem like, oh, I'm just a Patriots hater, which I am because I'm a Dolphins fan. But I'm just being honest here. The Patriots are this bad. Props to the Seahawks. They did an amazing job. They won. Sam Darnold got his ring. But let's just be real. Patriots are that bad. This has to be one of the worst offensive rosters from a talent standpoint in the league. I mean, their O-line is mid. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, how bad they were in this game. The wide receivers are terrible. The running backs are, just regular guys at best, at this point in their careers. Like, the only, standout thing about that team on offense is the quarterback. And the Seahawks have a top defense. They got a great quarterback. Their wide receiver one was the offensive player of the year. We're going to talk about it more, but they had an elite defense. So just from like a talent standpoint, it's just, I think that's what it was. Like, the Patriots were just that bad more than the Seahawks were that good.
Well, how can you say it was the Patriots when you just talked about, you think the Seattle defense is historically good? They have all these studs. They have all these guys.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I just think the Patriots are worse and the Seahawks are good. Does that make sense? And that's not taking away from the Seahawks. Like, they had an elite season, but the Patriots are really this bad.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to agree with you, but I'm gonna bring up some other factors. I agree with you, but I think they were just this bad on offense, because I think New England's
that's what I'm saying. This is strictly about their offense.
So I'm looking at their offense, but even as a team, they had the lowest opponent win percentage in terms of their schedule at 0.391. So basically at a clip of 39.1% is what the win record was, or the record percentage was, of their opponents. 113 and 176. That was their opponent's total combined record that they faced all year. Historically, it is one of the easiest schedules ever. Like, historically, that goes.
I think it's the easiest since 2007. I saw that somewhere like weeks ago, and I'm like, damn.
And that's just 20. That's just 20 years. Historically, it's even one of the easiest. You going back throughout the course of the NFL. So right there, it tells you they didn't face the quality of opponents that they saw in Seattle, and that definitely helped them win the division and win in the playoffs, because then they faced Denver without a backup in the snow, and they barely won. And listen, they have a young QB in an offensive line who they'll grow, they'll get better. But JT, they were not ready for prime time. They were not ready for this great Seattle defense. And it really was to me, it's like, there's a great defense, but I still question, is it really a historic all-time defense? So that's why I put it on the Patriots offense, because we saw the Rams had success in the regular season, postseason. The Rams scored 21 in the first game, 37 in the second game, another 27 in the NFC Championship. So this is not a lights-out 2000 Ravens defense. It is not a lights-out 85 Chicago Bears or a 76 Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Like, we saw what good offense looks like against this defense with the Rams, and we didn't see that with New England. So I put a lot more on New England. 2 rookies on the left side of the offensive line. That didn't help. They only scored 54 points in the 3 previous playoff games leading into the Super Bowl. JT, do the math real quick. That's less than 20 points a game. Like, they were winning on their defense. Their defense won all 3 games. This game if Seattle was that good, they would have been up 21-0 easily at the half. Instead, it's only 9-0. And listen, I'm going to go with the Patriots offense is this bad.
I mean, you not giving the Seahawks the overall credit was not on my bingo card, but here we are. Before you say anything else, because I feel like you might have already answered this question, but I want you to explain it anyway. So are we saying that this Seahawks defense this year is not on the level of Legion of Boom?
This year? Oh, it absolutely is. No, it is. And you just look at the comparison I mean, this rivals the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom in that 2013 season, I believe, where they won the Super Bowl against Denver, points per game, 14.3. This defense, we'll call it the dark side because that's how they like to call themselves. So this Seattle defense, number one scoring defense in the league at 16.9. That's only about a 2.5-point difference compared to Legion of Boom. Legion of Boom yards per game, 284.3. This one, 295.3. And we've advanced 13 years later where it's become even more of a passing league than it was in 2013. So even more kudos to this specific Seattle defense, only giving up 11 more yards. And then you look points per drive, 1.16 for Legion of Boom. For this dark side defense, 1.45. And then yards per play. This is what I really love to see. 4.6 given up by Legion of Boom. This defense, 4.7. This specific dark side defense ranked top 10 in pressure rate this year while blitzing at one of the lowest rates overall, like in the bottom 10. So that goes to show you they can get pressure with their 4-man front, and they gave up the fewest rushing yards this year per rush, 3.7. So with all of that said, they went over a month at the end of the year without allowing a 20-plus yard play from week 17 through the divisional round. They were the first team to do that in 3 straight games in nearly half a century. So right there, while I wouldn't say they're historic, they are definitely on the level of the Legion of Boom. They may not have the household names, but you look at the stats in some of the offenses they had to play, they backed it up.
Man, this guy pulling out stats. This is why they pay you the big bucks. Finally, you're doing your job, bringing something to this show. And, I mean, can we give Mike Macdonald his props? Like, he officially a madman. Like, boogeyman status. Like, it's him and Brian Flores. Like, they keep offensive coordinators and quarterbacks up at night before they play the game. But I will say this. I took this question as, if we're doing like best year against best year, maybe you can make a argument like you did with the stats, but we're talking about one season compared to like 7 years of dominance for Legion of Boom. Like, we forget, like, they were terrorizing people for a long time. There was one point, I think it was 4 straight years, they were the top scoring defense in the league, like 4 consecutive years. Not to mention there's 3 Hall of Famers on that defense. So you taught me this, and I'm buying into this philosophy now, which is why I can't put them on the level of LOB yet. You always say the window nowadays for elite defenses are so short. I think you gave it like 2 years max. So knowing that this defense might not even be this dominant next year for all the reasons you usually say, free agency, salary cap, guys get hurt. It's a passing league now. So the odds they put up these numbers again next year are it's the odds that happening are low. If they do, then we could talk about, all right, they're in that Legion of Boom category. Maybe they're creeping into the category of some of those other all-time great defenses you named. But I'm just going off of what I've seen from Legion of Boom, the intimidation factor, the numbers, the defensive scoring. I just can't put this Seattle Hawks defense on the level of that one. But, I mean, it's a hell of a start. I mean, they got a guy that could get them there if he can keep this going and keep the core together. And Mike Macdonald, like, if he can do this over the next 3 years, then he could be better. But right now, I can't put him on that level.
Well, if you're looking at longevity, of course, we haven't seen enough yet, and that's unfair to this current Seattle defense. But if we're looking at a micro level, specific season,
super micro level, we talking about one season.
But think about this, JT. Even if they don't win another Super Bowl, even if they become in one of the next 2 years, they're still number one scoring defense. They've already matched the number of Super Bowls that Legion of Boom defense won. Whether you want to blame them or not for
that's not on them though. That's not on them.
What?
Let's keep it real.
JT, and we don't want to get into it, but is it really not their fault? Yes, we can blame the whole interception.
They playing against two of the greatest football icons of all time. But Belichick and Brady. I mean, come on.
JT, if you're that elite,
they play. This defense played a rookie, not a rookie quarterback, second-year quarterback, bad roster. You said they played the worst schedule since Dixon. Like, it's not the same set of circumstances.
JT, it doesn't matter. If you want to be considered like this great defense of all time, you got to stop New England a little bit more. The Rams defense did it in 2017. Why couldn't you do it in 2014? Randy Moss wasn't on that team anymore. The Giants held that great offense to like 17 points. You gave up 23 or 24. I'm just saying if we're talking all-time great. So we won't get into it, but I think this specific defense on this specific year, definitely on that level. All right, so let's look at the Patriots side. If you're a New England Patriots fan, how do you explain to them what went wrong?
All right, I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna be honest. And you know how much I've been beating the drum and I've been a supporter and screaming to anybody who will listen. Drake Maye is the guy. Drake Maye is the guy. I still believe he's going to be an elite quarterback. I do believe he'll be a Super Bowl champion. He should already have been an MVP, which we'll talk about later. But let's keep it